live, and I am here with Heidi. And believe
Hello.
it or not, yeah, hi Heidi, nice to see you.
Thank you.
She's another carnivore teacher, you guys. I just interviewed a
Yep.
carnivore teacher, and we have
Woo,
another
teachers.
one. I know, go teachers. So, Heidi, what is it you teach exactly?
I am a music teacher. Actually, oh, you can't see it.
Oh, look at
Wear my
that.
music teacher shirt
Yes,
today. Hi.
fantastic. That is so
So
cool.
yeah, I teach music, kindergarten through fifth grade, so elementary. Um, yeah.
Wow, that is great. And I know that I send my kids to music from my fifth grade classroom or my 4 or 5 combo class this year. And
Oh wow.
yeah, I know. I
Normal
have
class. That's another.
28 students, 9 of them are fourth graders.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
So
Oh, they're amazing.
yeah. It's a lot. But
Yeah.
I really respect, you music teachers and what you do for our
Thank you.
students
Yes.
because it's definitely necessary. And as a math teacher, I can totally appreciate the connection between like the music and the math. Like kids that have music
Oh yeah.
helps them with their math. It like
Yeah.
grows the brain. So
Absolutely.
yeah. So thank you for what you do, and I appreciate that.
Thank
Um,
you. I mean, I appreciate classroom teachers as well. Every teachers, we're doing our best jobs that we can with what we have. So,
with the stick and a rock they
yeah.
give us, right? They give
Exactly.
us a stick and a rock, and
Well,
we make things happen.
exactly.
So, anyway, oh, check this out. So, Altiora says, my 5-year-old daughter also attends music classes. It changes her mood
Oh,
every time.
yay.
My
Yep.
kids
That's
are so
awesome.
excited when it's band. Like my fifth graders have band, and then my fourth graders have like general
That's
music,
awesome.
and they're so excited.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fun,
So I
different.
I wanted to ask you a little bit about your health journey, and if you could share with us what's going on with that. How did you find carnivore and how you're doing now?
Well, so backpack story. I have grown up overweight my entire life. Um, my father was well, he was overweight my entire life as well. And then, he essentially died of obesity. And
Mm,
that was about 7 years ago now, about 7 years ago. And um, so it's not like, I mean, it's not like he didn't try to lose weight. Went on plenty of so-called diets or programs or different things. I remember one time we did a juice fast, and of course we did it together, and I was like, juicing all these vegetables for him, and we lost a few pounds for like the juice fast time, but then of course it came back on when we returned to normal eating, and um, so that's just kind of been the roller coaster of my life, and right after he passed away, I sort of discovered the keto diet. And I, because of like life insurance money from him and everything, I had an opportunity to go traveling to Europe, to England, the UK, and Ireland. And it was a great opportunity. But I didn't want to I wanted to feel better while I was traveling, and I knew I wouldn't lose, like, all my weight, um, but I wanted to be more comfortable in the plane seat. I wanted to be able to walk because I was going with a group, the first part of the trip that, we're gonna walk a lot, go on the normal tours. It was a church choir group, so we'd be going to these different churches singing and then going to these different historical places, and there would be a lot of walking, and I knew that. So I wanted to feel better and be able to do that. So I ended up losing 60 pounds in a year on keto, and went and did the trip. It was amazing. And after I returned, of course, when I was there, I kind of relaxed everything. And then when I returned, I tried to stay on keto. I lost it like a few more pounds. Um, but eventually kind of reverted back into standard American diet because of just stress and life. And and then last summer I was camping and just kind of trying to get back to keto or something, and just do what I needed to do to get healthy again, because I knew, if I don't, then it's just going to keep going downhill. I'm going to keep putting on weight. I'm going to end up bedridden like my father was at the end of his life. I'm going to end up, unable to do my job. And so I just, yeah, so I was like going to be like strict keto for 2 weeks, and ended up, and we kind of talked about this, that I kind of just of what of everything that I packed, like I didn't really pack a lot of vegetables on my camping trip and everything, and ended up mostly packing like meat and eggs and cheese, and then like um I found this video where I stumbled across a couple of videos on YouTube of carnivore YouTubers, Dr. Ken Berry and Carrie from Homestead How and Bill Knott, who was like that whole thing that he was just beginning at that time. And I just went in a deep dive of all these like carnivore videos, and was like, whoa, this can't really be. And then I ended up was like, well, I'm essentially doing that right now, because like I think I had a few blueberries, and I like, yeah. And so I ended up essentially being carnivore for those 2 weeks, and I was feeling a lot better. And then when I got home, I tried to keep that up, and I did for a good long while, but it's been a little bit of a bumpy track, because I keep just stepping in it. And I have very high stress, highly emotional, as you know, kind of job, and a very highly stressful family environment. And so yeah, I'm still struggling, and I'm still trying to get there and stay there. And so it's been kind of a bumpy road.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to ask you a little bit about, like, I mean, did you experience any weight loss? Like, why are you continuing to try to stay on this way of eating?
Absolutely. I initially lost about 20 pounds when I first was like staying very solid carnivore, and I've basically been kind of maintaining that like 20 to 25 pound weight loss. So I essentially, I mean, and I felt so much better when I was eating that way.
Yeah.
So just like the inflammation in my joints, my energy levels, I always feel so much better when I'm maintaining that.
Yeah. So I think that's a pretty good why. I mean, that's my why for sure, because after 24 years of teaching, this is my 24th year. I go into my 25th year next school year. That's still so crazy to me.
Mhm.
It takes it out of you, right? And it's just when
Yeah,
I've got this carnivore energy, it does make it so much easier.
yeah,
Like,
I
I
believe
was
it.
driving to work today, and it's not like I was doing cartwheels that I was, going into work, but I was feeling like enough energy to do it, right?
Right.
Instead of dragging my sorry butt down the road, like dreading it, hoping that the kids will be well behaved so that, it would go well and that nobody would get in a fight on the playground today. It was like all just the dread, right, of all that stuff.
Yeah,
It makes it so much easier because I feel like I have the mental capacity and the physical energy to like handle any potential
absolutely.
things.
Absolutely. Yep.
So I know I've really enjoyed your channel. Speaking of, I did have to go to my little starred list here, but you got a new sub. But I enjoy your channel because you just kind of get on and you
Oh, thank you.
talk in this real way about it. You're just very real and like down to earth and open
I
about
appreciate that.
what you're doing.
Well, and I figured like I could because I'm like I'm on this journey and it's different. It's going to be different for everybody. And I could pretend that I'm like always doing great. But the reality of life is there, and I kind of figure it's I may not be the only one that like struggles, because there's a lot of YouTubers out there talking about this and doing great, and I'm so proud of them and I'm so inspired by them for sure. Um, but there's also like, God, why can't I do that great? Like, what's wrong with me? And I'm starting, I'm trying to figure that out, and a lot of that is just carb addiction. A lot of that is some truly emotional, deep-seated, brainwashing, societal things connected to love, acceptance in the family, in whatever, grief, things that are all super connected in there. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to do anybody any favors by lying about it. So I'm still in this. I still believe this is the way to go. And that this is, because when I do this, I feel so healthy. I feel so energetic. My mood, oh my gosh, like that's the other thing that people talk about, that like I've experienced that, like, oh my gosh, I don't feel sad today. I don't feel anxious. I don't, like, when you're staying on that track, it feels so good. So, yeah, I'm still in it, but I have to be honest too, because it's not going to even help me to be not telling the truth about it, that there's still these significant struggles happening for me.
Yeah. Well, I would encourage you to keep, stay in the community, because I don't have a lot of support either, anywhere but here, right? Like this is my happy place. All these wonderful people here that we see in the chat right now.
For sure.
She was excited because it was only 5 minutes away. Charlie is here, Darth Carnivore, saying hello. Karen is here.
Nice.
When you get in these live streams like this, either like right now, obviously I'm hosting this one, but I
Right.
also like to watch them and I'll just engage. It's like kind of connecting with some like-minded people. I'm also going to be at Hack Your Health in Austin in a couple months. Yeah, so it's like I'm excited to meet some of these people in real life, and I feel like that was a key for me, is like getting plugged in, because my family, although now my son has joined me, but up until 6 weeks ago, my family, like I'd be eating butter and they'd look at me like, did you just seriously take a bite of that butter? Whereas my carnivore peeps out there are like, right there eating butter with me, and they get it and they know why I'm doing it and not questioning me.
Right.
And so, it just makes it so much easier to stick on it, that. And I definitely think there was a tipping point for me. Like, so when I was keto, because I started keto too, like you, it took a lot of self-control to stay away from the keto treats, too many fat bombs, too much fill in the blank. Like, and when I went carnivore, and again, like you, it was accidental, I just didn't really, it wasn't a camping trip like you, but I didn't feel like cooking the vegetables, so I didn't. And now pretty soon I'm just eating mostly meat. Once I did that and got over like the adaptation phase, which was no picnic, it's like I don't even feel the need. I don't feel the urge. I don't feel the temptation, whatever you want to call it, anymore, to go for those other foods. And I used to feel uncomfortable, in those social situations, like, like at work. You know what I'm talking about, when they're having a baby shower. They're having a baby shower and there's cake and they're just passing around the cake and you're like the only one not taking any.
Yep.
I used to feel weird about it. Yeah. But like today I wore my carnivore shirt to work. Carnivores,
nice.
take it easy. Like, I don't like
Nice.
people know about it now. And
That's good.
yeah, and it's like I used to feel uncomfortable, and now it's like, I mean, they know, nobody's like said anything to
No.
me at work.
Well, and the other thing is it's like it's a show of like love and appreciation from
Mhm.
like our admin, like had this little cart that they took around to every teacher's classroom and made them a special coffee and a special treat. And it's like, what, like, just, oh, so no, thank you. Like, so hard for
Mhm.
me to do is to
Mhm.
deny
Mhm.
that of, like what I think is, them giving a gift or, trying to express something to me. And I'm just rejecting it,
Yeah. I understand that a coffee would be a hard one. Other times I'll take it and then just bring it to somebody
Right.
else or give it to somebody else
Yeah.
who might want it or
Oh, yeah.
whatever. But yeah, a coffee, you can't really do that. So
Well,
that's
yeah.
tricky. That is
I mean,
tricky.
I could have probably just taken it and,
Not
just not
drunk it.
really
But
good.
my admin doesn't, they don't bring it around like that. So we'll just get an email like donuts in the staff lounge or
Yeah.
whatever.
Oh, that
And
happens
and
too.
and then I just don't go down there. And
Yeah.
they don't know. They don't know that I didn't take it. I'll send a thank you email like thank you for thinking, thank you for doing
Sure.
something thoughtful because it is something thoughtful even
Yeah.
though I
Occasionally,
don't want to
like,
eat that.
they'll put like the PTO puts these treats in our mailbox, and I'm like, I just take it out of my mailbox and put it in someone else's. Have fun, get
Mm,
it extra.
mhm, mhm, mhm.
But
The coolest thing was at Christmas because people do that too, and a lot of times it's around Christmas time.
no.
At Christmas this year, one of the aides, she's like our one of our aides that helps out with intervention. She's like our intervention specialist.
Mhm.
And she put a piece of beef jerky in my box instead of, I don't know what she gave everybody else, but
That was so sweet.
she put a special little tag on it that said for a carnivore.
Aw,
I took one bite and I'm pretty sure there was some sugar in there. So I did not eat the rest of it, but I appreciate, and I, of course, didn't
that's such
say
a
anything,
sweet thought.
but it was such a sweet thought that she like went out of her way to get something else.
Yeah,
So I think once you're in it long enough, like people know and they
yeah.
get it and but yeah, I hear you on feeling, I used to feel a little bit uncomfortable. And then it was like my carnivore confidence kind of took over, I guess. And I'm just like, hey, this is the way I eat. I feel great. Look at my skin. It's glowy. Like I'm healthy. I'm energetic. And I've had actually several people ask me like how to get started, themselves. So hopefully if you can just stick to it, I hope that we can, stay in contact. If you need anything, you can email me and all that, and we can,
Well, thanks. I
you know,
really appreciate, and I
yeah.
appreciate you doing this too, and letting me just chat with you because that helps. All of
Yeah.
that is definitely helping. I was noticing in the comments too, Altiora, um, talking about bouncing back from cheat meals and giving, and then Dar's carnivore saying don't give up or give
Mhm.
yourself grace. And I would have to say that too, even though it still happens to me or it has been. Um, like, don't give up. Just like, because it's worth it. Like, even if you're only able to stay on another week, it's worth it. You're
Mhm.
gonna
Mhm.
feel great
Mhm.
again, and you're gonna enjoy that, have that time of productivity. Like, just don't give up.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do
Absolutely.
it.
I saw a recent video you did, and I think this was such a great step where you cleaned out your fridge. Can you tell us like why you did that and how that worked out for you?
Well,
I didn't get to finish the video, so I'm like
oh,
on a
no
cliffhanger.
worries.
You're like just starting to clean it out.
Well, it's spring break, for me. I'm from school as a music teacher. We have a spring break, so it's my spring break, and I thought my fridge has been really filthy for a long time, and so I just decided it is time to clean it and completely clean it out. So, there's still some vestiges of things in there that mostly I haven't used, but also some other things like raspberry jam that is going to trigger me right now anyway, so it's best for me just to get rid of it.
Mhm.
Um so yeah, I did the whole clean out, had like two trash cans of things that just need to be
Wow.
out of my fridge. My fridge is pretty bare at the moment, but That's okay. I mean, I'm a single
Well,
person, so I don't have a lot of stuff in it. It's mostly meat and cheese, and there's not a lot else to put in there.
now you have space for if there's a sale, you can stock up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Do
I
you
did
do
hear
that?
there
I
was some good
totally do
sales for
that.
Easter,
Okay,
but
okay.
so we'll see.
Yeah, I'll have to
Or
look and
maybe
see
like
what goes on sale.
post St. Patrick's Day corned beef. I'll have to look into that.
So in that video, you were talking about something that interested me very much, and it was like your perspective on this Lent season. Now, I will
Oh,
say that in my personal church tradition, like I know what Lent is, but like I don't attend a church where we all do it. You know what I mean? Like I definitely know
yeah.
people who do, friends and all that attend different churches, and I respect that. I know what it is, but it's not something that we sort of do as a church, if that makes sense. But
Yeah.
you had a different perspective on it that I thought was like super interesting to hear about. Can you talk? Are you
Yeah.
okay to talk about? I mean, you talked
Yeah,
about it
no,
in your
absolutely.
video, so are you okay to talk about it
Yeah.
here?
Fine.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm an Orthodox Christian, and we Lent pretty hard.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a 40-day fast, intensive fast from meat and dairy.
Wow. So I know some people do like just like on Friday, like no meat Fridays, but you're talking
Right.
about the whole
So
40 days.
yep. So that's like that's
Okay.
definitely a typical Catholic thing, is the no meat on Fridays thing. Um but yeah, Orthodoxy just goes really intensive with it. And of course the purpose of Lent is to is a spiritual practice to to give the money that you would save to the poor, to um, look inward, be contemplative, to have a little bit of a struggle in that, and to pray to God for that spiritual strength instead of depending on your meat for your strength. You're then depending on God for strength. So it's um yeah, and that's the intention. And I did think it was interesting too, because the church acknowledges then that the meat is strengthening, and that without it we become weaker. Um, and that's kind of just across the board. And then when, of course, Easter, or as we call it, Pascha, comes, then we feast, and typically the feast is very meat heavy, and we enjoy the meats. So yeah, so I mean, that's just kind of the premise of Lent. And for me, I just realized, since I've still been on this really bumpy road, that I, if I try to go vegan right now, I'm just gonna fall into the same pitfalls of just excuses for carbs, excuses for more and more carbs.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to keep definitely the spirit of Lent. So personally, I'm going to try to be doing BBBE for the duration. And and just is that spiritual practice is cutting all the other stuff out and going without, and that's still kind of the spirit of it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to be things that I'm only restricting the things to the things that are actually going to help me stay on track, going to nourish my body. Yeah, so that's just it's kind of where I'm at with that.
Yeah, I really appreciated your perspective on that, you know. I couldn't imagine going vegan for 40 days. Wow. Especially if I was struggling, because I know like, well, Oreos are vegan and Pop-Tarts are vegan.
Right,
And
exactly. It's like
right? It would be a slippery slope into
slippery
something like
slope.
that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
So
they consequently, so they allow crustaceans,
Okay.
shellfish, anything without
Mhm.
a backbone.
Oh, okay.
So the only problem with that is I don't like them. I don't like
I
crustaceans. Like I can't. I'm
I
like
don't
I
either.
don't
Thank
think
you.
that I'm allergic to them, but I just don't like them. Like I've tried shrimp and lobster before, and I just it's just the texture. I just am not
Ocean
a fan.
bugs. They're ocean bugs, Heidi. I don't
They
want to eat an
are.
ocean bug. I'm sorry. I'm
They're
sorry for
little
everyone who
ocean
likes them. It's
scavengers.
fine if you
They're
do. But
poop
yes.
eaters. They can't do it.
Yeah, I can't do it. I know so many people just love it. It's like, and I, whatever, like to each their own, right? Like, that's fine. I
Like, and if I
personally, that's
liked
just
it,
more for you guys because I
I
don't
could
like
do
them.
shellfish all 40 days and
Yeah, right?
still
You
be in
could.
compliance with the church and with carnivore, but I just can't
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, so Altiora is saying daughter had belly cramps all day. I'm so sorry. The school gave her mandarins for
Oh,
morning snack and poor girl sat on the toilet all afternoon. I am so sorry. And mandarins, that's not even the worst of it. I'm sure Heidi has seen some of the things they serve
oh
here
yeah,
in the US for schools, school lunch, school food.
yeah.
Poor thing.
I mean, PB&J's is their like standard alternative entree.
Oh, I'm surprised they still serve peanut butter because of all the allergies.
Oh, I know.
Our
Well,
school doesn't serve it anymore.
that's yeah. It's the Uncrustables, so they're like
Mm.
pre-wrapped,
Mhm,
and
mhm,
if
mhm.
and they have to sit like if there's anybody with a nut allergy, they have to sit at a special table that no one with peanuts can ever sit at.
Right. Yeah. No, we
Special
have that too. We have
nut-free
that too.
table. Yeah.
Yeah. So Jay is here. That wasn't a hi. I thought first that second that was hi Christy, but that's hi Charlie. But hi Jay, nice to see you. I think he said hi to everyone. Here it is. Hi everyone. Hi Jay. Jay's a teacher too, Heidi.
I think I knew that. I think he
Yeah,
was the
okay.
last one.
Yeah, cool. And also, where did BK go? BK came in and said hello. So hello, BK. Hi, Christy and Heidi and fellow carnivores. Hi, BK. Nice to see you. So your video went up a couple days ago about your fridge clean out, and you said you're going to start BBB&E. Did you start that? And how has that been
No.
going? No, you haven't started it yet. Okay.
I've actually been prepping, been making little
Okay.
carnivore
Okay.
egg white buns and stuff, but
Okay.
I'm gonna be starting that next week.
Okay, so like Monday when you go back to work after spring break?
Yeah.
Or okay, that's awesome. So what kind of things do you plan on eating on BBB&E? I've never done BBB&E officially, but I think that's generally what I am.
Well, I like honestly probably a lot of ground beef, a lot of just hamburgers, um, with with some of those protein sparing buns. Or you know what I'm talking about, right? The little egg
Yeah,
white
the egg
bun.
white. Yes, uh-huh.
Um, and I like honestly, like the easiest thing ever for me to do is just ground beef and eggs in a bowl. Like just
Mm,
that's that's probably one of the simplest things that I ever do. Um, and it's satisfying. So there it is. Put a little bacon on it sometimes, and
mhm.
yeah, I don't know. I don't have like essentially that's my plan now. I did some buns, and
Okay.
I got a little ground beef. I got a chuck roast
I love chuck
that I'll
roast.
probably cook up Sunday, and then I'll have for the next week a little bit, the next couple days, not probably the whole week, but
Mhm.
yeah, I love a chuck roast. So
I'm
yeah.
learning a lesson, and here's my lesson. My son loves chuck roast, I think more than I do. The last time I made a chuck roast, I got exactly
Ah,
none. None. So I think I need to get 2 chuck roasts because what happened was I think I had some picanha still, which is my
well,
absolute favorite.
still haven't tried it.
You have to try it.
I do want to. Yeah.
It's so good. So I made the chuck roast just for my son, and then I thought I'll have leftovers tomorrow, right? But then my husband got into the chuck roast, and then there was like one serving left. So of course, what does a mom do? She doesn't eat it herself. She gives it to her son.
Yeah, so
So
kind of
that
you.
like there was like 3 servings of chuck roast. My son got 2, husband got 1, I got 0.
Oh, yeah, you need a bigger chuck roast.
I do. I'm like, I think I need to get a couple and just like tag team it and put both of
Yeah,
them in the crock pot. How do you cook your chuck roast? I do mine in the crock pot because it's super easy on a day when I'm teaching.
yeah,
Because it just goes for like all day, 9 or 10 hours, but I like to eat like right when I get home.
that's nice.
So yeah, because I don't like to eat too late. And so it's ready to go and I can just like chow down.
I've done it so many ways, but yeah, the crock pot or even the Instant Pot works fine for me, works perfect for me. But there is something about oven roasting it. I did that the other day, because I split the chuck roast in two. So
Okay.
did part of it already in the oven, and I'm gonna do the other one on Sunday. But that it was really good. Just waiting it out in the oven.
So how do you
Searing
oven
it.
roast it? And then so when I do the crock pot, I take like forks to it and I just like shred it up. And then there's like the
Yeah,
juice in there, and then I just put it in a bowl. It's like shredded up chuck roast with like the juice, like a little almost a soup. Not
yeah,
not as much broth as, there's way more meat
right.
than broth, but it's like a little bit of juice and then the meat. But when you oven roast it, what is that like? Do you slice
Oh,
it
well,
then?
it's essentially the same. No, no,
Okay.
it's still shredded. It's
Okay.
essentially
Okay.
the same because I'll sear it like in the cast iron skillet and then put
Okay.
some water in the skillet and then put it in the oven. And so then
Got
all
it.
the
Okay.
juice cover it,
Yes,
and then all
yes,
the
yes, yes.
juice like leaks out and it makes a nice broth
Yeah,
with
okay.
it. And then but no, when you eat it, no, you still just
Shred it up.
shred chunks off of it and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. That sounds absolutely delicious. Have you ever done a power bowl? Because I went so early carnivore days, I think I ate a power bowl 5 times a week. And then I got real sick of ground beef, like real sick
Well,
of ground
yeah,
beef.
that's what I was talking about. Like the
Yeah,
power
okay.
bowls with just the ground beef and the
And
eggs
eggs.
and a
Okay.
little bit of bacon, but just like tossing it all up in the bowl and mow down. I actually really like that.
So good. Yeah, it's that so I'm getting back now where I'm like, I feel like I could do a power bowl. I really went through a phase where I was like, I can't look at another bite of ground beef. After I had done so many, like I could still do burger patties, I could still do stuff like that. But yeah, just the ground beef it was like I ate it and then it was like I didn't want any more. For
Yeah,
sure, for sure.
I see getting a little bit tired of that.
Yeah.
But it's really easy to just do, and when I'm hungry, like I come home from school and I'm hungry, like
Yes.
I'm looking around, and I'm like, everything else is gonna take too much time. Just
Yeah, it is
so.
super quick. So thanks, Jay. Yes, I am almost to 2,000 subscribers.
Oh,
I'm like 2
congratulations.
away last I checked. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. So thank you for that, Jay, for noticing. Um, Mama Cracker says, my brother told me that instead of broth or water, he uses black coffee for a chuck roast. I have never heard of
Interesting.
that. Huh. I almost have to try it just to see. That's so crazy.
Coming back?
Yeah.
Hi Sandra, nice to see you. Sandra's here. So thanks for popping over into this live.
Is this me? It's like indefinite.
Sorry. My sister just got here. She's talking to me.
Oh, hi Heidi's sister.
Hi. Probably another 30 minutes or so.
So I just wanted to ask you a little bit about like exercise. I know the last time we talked, you were talking about like this hill that you had to walk up and it was like getting easier to do that. Like
yeah.
how's all that going? And are you walking or what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, it's essentially, yeah, it's about the same. It is a little bit easier. Having lost a little bit of the weight, and when I stay on carnivore and I'm feeling the energy and I can walk up, yeah, I mean, the hill is still there. It's still a little hill up to my school, but I'm doing it with more ease, I would say, than I was previously.
Yeah, that's awesome. I noticed that on carnivore I have like energy to exercise or tackle things like that and I don't like dread it. Like I used to dread it. Like
Yeah.
sometimes I would do it, but out of like obligation and like, this is going to help me get skinny. So I'm going to do it, but I'm going to hate every minute of it. And I'm going to, can't wait till it's over, the kind of a thing. And now like tomorrow's going to be leg day and I'm excited for leg day, It just,
What do you do for leg day?
Oh, okay. So here's what happened. I interviewed Coach Bronson. And if you ever interview Coach Bronson or talk to Coach Bronson, you'll end up doing leg day because or whatever you talk to him about, you'll end up doing it because he's very like no nonsense. He gives you like tips that make it kind of seem doable, but also like you better do it. You know what I'm saying? It's like a combination of that. And so he was like, look, if what you need to do is you just focus, like laser focus on just doing squats, lunges, and deadlifts. And I'm like, well, I could do 3 things. You know what I'm saying? I could do 3 things. So that's what I do on leg day. And I do it I have dumbbells, but I mean, I'm sure you could do them body weight, but like I have dumbbells. Yeah. So I do an added weight and, so I don't do a high amount of reps because it's pretty heavy weight. Oh, well, I mean, heavy for me, right? Heavy for me, probably not heavy for some people. But yeah, so I don't do a lot of reps. It depends. And every time I up the weight, if I up the weight, then the reps go back down to like 6 or 7 reps. And then I slowly build that up until I can get like 12. And then I up the weight again. So that's kind of what I've been doing, but only twice a week. So leg day twice a week, upper body twice a week. And then 3 rest days. Like he talked about rest days. And I was like, rest days? What are these rest days you speak of? And he's talking about how rest days are like more important, or just as important as workout days. And if you don't give your body that rest, then you're not going to see the gains. And I knew you had to rest.
Like doing the work, like it's repairing.
Yes, it's repairing. And no one ever, like, I knew you were supposed to do rest days, but like also I was never in it for the fitness before and I wasn't doing like the weights and stuff, but when I would work out before, it was always to burn calories, right? Because eat less, move more. So I didn't care about rest days. I just cared about like burning as many calories as I could in a vain attempt to lose weight. And it wasn't about getting healthy. It was about the number on the scale. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I spent whenever I did go into like workout phases of my life, I was never like, die hard, but I would definitely go through phases like a few months at a time. But it was all about like, I got to burn these calories to get that number on the scale lower. It was never about, I'm going to get healthier or I'm going to try to put on muscle or, which is the mindset I have now because I'm 48 and my goal is to not, lose a bunch of muscle as I'm going into my 50s and 60s.
I feel like that's super important at this point. Like to get the muscle so you can, still be strong, have that, mobility.
And I noticed so I have I'm lazy. I'm lazy, fundamentally lazy. So I have my groceries delivered to my porch because I do
that sometimes.
I just don't want to go to the store because it saves me so much time. Like I literally go on the app. I'm like, I need these things. It takes me 3 seconds to grocery shop instead of, 2 hours or whatever. And then they come to my porch and I bring them in. But my point is not to tell you how lazy I am. My point is to tell you that when I lift those groceries, and bring them in, it's like it's like a breeze to do it now.
Nice.
Whereas before, some of the heavier things, I mean, like I could lift them, but I'd be like, get one of my sons. Hey, will you bring this in for me? Like I could do it, but it was like, I would rather you do it, kind of a deal. And now it's like, I find I can lift these things and it's like, just not a problem,
bring it in.
Just do it. Yeah. Just bring them in. Like part of my day, just bringing in the groceries, so the things that used to seem like heavy. And if I was tired, and I'd ask one of my boys to do it for me, now I just do it. So that's cool because it's like functional fitness, right? Like I got to lift stuff. And now it's like, I've been doing the exercise and I can see the payoff, in my everyday life. So it kind of keeps you motivated to keep going,
Definitely. Yeah.
So yeah. So you lost the 20 pounds. What are your plans? So I know some people say like they don't even care about the weight loss anymore. They're really, weight loss would be nice, but it's like they're really in it for like the health. Do you still have weight loss goals? Do you have health goals? Do you have both?
Yeah, I mean, I think they go hand in hand, especially at the weight that I am, which is truly morbidly obese. That
Okay.
like my primary goal is not necessarily aesthetic, but how I feel. And so if I'm if I am strong enough and have enough energy to do all the things that I want to do I care if I have extra pounds on? No, not at all. But those extra pounds make it really difficult for me to do all the things that I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, I just want to be I want to be fully mobile, to be able to walk. I want my joints to feel free and just able to move, able to curl up on my couch without hurting my knee, just able to walk around the block without getting out of breath, without getting tired, fatigued, to be able to jump up and down with my kids at school, because I don't, the impact on my knees hurt
Mm-hmm.
if I try to do
Mm-hmm.
a jump. And of course, I do a lot of active singing games in music class, of course, because
Yeah.
we do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I can do most of the stuff at a kind of lower level, but I can't really jump do the jumps.
Yeah. You want to be
So
that fun teacher, right? That they're going
yeah,
to remember.
for
100%.
sure. So it's just there's a lot more that I want to do, mobile wise, health wise, physically, things that I want to do, and those are where my goals are at, where I have clarity and a good mood and feel good in general. I'm able to do more and just be more present and be better person
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
general. And I think it's not going to be possible, all those things, to staying at my completely current weight. I don't know, it's going to come off naturally anyway if I'm following, I'm following a really practically no carb way of eating. It's there's no way it's going to be able to stay on anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
So Ribeye Ranger is saying your priorities are spot on, Heidi. I believe you'll be pleasantly surprised with the outward results as well. Proud of you here.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you too, because you're not giving up. This is the right thing for you and you're just going to keep on going, I don't know if you've tried this. I don't know if you've tried this. So we talked about maybe some tips and tricks. Well, I think you've done a big one, which is clean out your fridge, right? Clean out your fridge. Are you trying to do any kind of eating windows or anything like that? Because what I've heard for people just starting is maybe don't do that.
Okay.
So I'm just curious about that.
So when I was back doing keto, I did some intermittent fasting, which I actually really liked, because honestly, at school, it's better for me to just stay away from food and just be I'm just staying in my room, in my bubble, just doing my job, and don't go out into the rest of the teacher world. And then I could just stay away from triggers and stuff. And that was, that kind of helped initially, but this is probably TMI, but lately, this whole school year, every time I've kind of tried to do the intermittent fasting, the evenings, which when I get home and I do eat, and I've kind of tested out, kind of no matter how much I eat, I end up with the diarrhea stuff.
Running to the bathroom. Yes. Yes.
The bathroom stuff. And
bathroom emergency. Yes.
And I'm I can't relax and to sleep because I'm afraid that something's going to come out. So TMI, I know, but
no, we talk about poop here on carnivore channels, Heidi. It's all anyway,
good. So I kind of got away from doing that because I'm I don't want to deal with that.
No, that's no fun.
Well,
especially after a long day of teaching, I know that I covet my relaxation time. I'm an introvert, really. So it's after a day of, talking to everyone at school, then it's usually I come home, I get an hour and a half or 2 hours to eat and, regroup, and then I usually do a live, or if I have a live,
Yeah.
and then I'm good, and then I'm looking forward to, again, like after this, relaxing, because it's Friday, right? So that's like a bummer that you feel like, because your own body is like betraying you. You don't get your relaxation.
I know. Well,
So
now I'm like, okay, I have to eat something during my lunchtime just so that I don't end up fasting and then trigger a bathroom incident later.
and it may be that, if you get a little more consistent with it, that might stop.
Probably.
Because I know that
Possibly.
happened for me. It took me, so even though my like trip into carnivore, I went keto, and then I went ketovore, and then I went carnivore, and I still had probably a good 4 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks, probably closer to 4 weeks of what Charlie says here, bathroom sprints. So you would think that because I sort of went gradually down. Nope. As soon as I took the last of the carbs off the plate, the vegetables that I was still eating, it was, and the only thing that allowed me to do it was the fact that it was summer vacation. So I started carnivore last June. So I could sprint to the bathroom as many times, and it was fine. But it stayed so long that I was starting to get worried. Like, do I need to stop this? Do I need to see a doctor? Is something else wrong?
Right.
And then it finally did subside.
I think it's just a thing that like it just like that first, like, it just reawakens your digestive system, and then it like dumps. So maybe if you have, I don't know, maybe as you clean the excess out of your system. But that was funny. Death Carnivore bathroom sprints.
Yeah, bathroom. Look on the bright side, Heidi. You're getting your sprinting in.
Yeah,
you're getting your sprinting in. The doorbell rang, and now my cat is freaking out. Like, oh my gosh, that's so funny. Charlie says his Carnivoreversary month is the same month as me. Charlie, that is awesome.
Congratulations.
We will have to celebrate, because I don't have a specific date, right? Because I accidentally went carnivore, and I'm like, I don't know what day in June. Like, the only reason I know it was June is it was my 25th wedding anniversary, and we went on a trip in June, and I was for sure carnivore. Like, that's the only reason I remember. Like, I was for sure eating ribeyes and chicken wings, like, on that trip only. So I'm like, okay, I was for sure carnivore by then. But I don't exactly know, because I had also stopped tracking. When I was keto, I tracked my food, but like by June, I wasn't tracking anymore. So I'm like, I don't really know like when officially, because it wasn't a conscious decision, know? Right. But I would just encourage you to like eat when you're hungry, eat 2 or 3 meals, try not to snack. But if you get snacky, like if you're having a craving, eat bacon. Eat bacon, and don't worry about the weight loss. Like, worry about getting like fully transitioned over, getting the cravings out of your life. You know what I mean? Like getting your headspace right first. Then the other things will follow. But like, I wouldn't worry. I wouldn't like let myself get hungry if I were in your shoes. I mean,
well, that's kind of the other place where I was at, is like, being that there are all these triggers, if I can take something that I can eat and not get hungry, so that I don't have an excuse to eat something.
Right. So if there are a few people watching right now, if you guys have any tips for Heidi, that was my big tip. It's like, don't even worry about the scale, the weight loss, nothing. Just worry about getting like, transitioning over to whatever it is. Like, I know right now it's BBB&E, right? So just worry about getting transitioned to that until you can stick with that, until you sort of are in that, that good habit, right? Of like being in that zone.
Yeah.
And then when you feel confident with, okay, if I see that donut in the teacher's lounge, I'm going to be okay. You know what I'm saying? Then maybe start worrying about, okay, now can I tighten up the eating window? Can I, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So
it's a good tip.
Ribeye Ranger actually doesn't have a tip, but has a question. So sorry if I missed it, but do you have anyone else in your house or at work going carnivore with you? I'll let you speak to that first, and then I can speak to that too.
That's okay. No, I do not. I don't really like, even in Colorado, I've tried to like find, is there anyone in Colorado doing this? I haven't found anybody. So yeah, it's just
you know who's in Colorado? I know someone in Colorado. Meat Fuel Kat at Meat Fueled Living. Have you checked out her channel? She just moved to Colorado from Texas.
What part of Colorado? Like,
I'm not 100% sure. but
Oh,
I
so
know
look
she's
it
in
up.
Colorado. So check out her channel, Kat Kat, but it's at Meat Fueled Living.
Meat Fueled Living.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I
And
will
she's
look that up. That's awesome.
fantastic. And if she's close to you, you guys could meet up. I would love to meet
Yeah.
up with you, but I'm in California.
Oh, well, I know. Here in California, there's like people in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Okay, anybody?
Yeah.
But no, there's a few people at work who are keto,
Mm-hmm.
who are like regular keto. So
Mm-hmm.
that's something. And yeah, and my family just helps as much as they can, but also kind of think I'm crazy. So
And that's hard, but you have to as your sister's chiming in.
yeah, she doesn't think I'm crazy.
I'm pretty sure my brother and my sister-in-law, I think there's a couple of them that think I'm a little bit crazy too. Like they don't say it. They don't say a word, but I just think that they think it. But my mom is meat-based
Yeah,
keto.
it might be I'm projecting that.
Yeah. My mom is meat-based keto, and she's actually coming to Hack Your Health with me. I'm very excited about that. And so it's it is kind of nice, when you go to these family gatherings. My in-laws, my husband's parents have accepted it. And so now it's like if they're inviting us over,
Nice.
they will ask me or they'll tell me like, okay, this is what we're making. I never want her to go out of her way. Like I forget what it was. She was having a ham for something. I think it was Christmas. I'm not sure. She was having a ham, but it was a honey baked ham. And I was very glad that she specified that because I'm like, I'm not going to eat that. Like if my kids ate it, that was fine if they wanted to, but like I'm not going to eat
all
that.
that sugary stuff. I can't.
Yeah. So I'll bring a picanha. I said, thank you for making that ham. I'm happy to bring a picanha. So I brought a picanha and then there was a little of each. Now that my son has kind of joined me, I'd say he's probably ketovore. Like she made him a burger patty. Just for him because she made tri-tip, but we didn't know if he liked tri-tip or not. And so she made him. I mean, I'd never have made tri-tip. So I don't know.
Sounds good.
Yeah. It's pretty lean. So I ate the tri-tip with like a ton of butter.
Yeah. You can always add butter. I like
you can always add butter.
You can always add butter.
Yeah. So I mean, that part is nice because it's like they understand.
Nice.
I mean, my father-in-law made a comment because he was like kind of falling asleep after dinner in the chair. And he's like, I thought this carnivore diet was supposed to give you energy, but look at him. He's falling asleep. And I'm like, yeah, he stayed up till like 3 a.m. That's why he's falling asleep. 15. And if he's not going to school, it was like Christmas break or whatever. It's like, I mean, I can't force him to go to sleep. So whatever. That's why he was falling asleep. He actually has way more energy, honestly. And he's like happier. He's less argumentative. Like it's pretty cool. I need to do an update video. He's almost at 2 months.
It's understandable. I'm less argumentative when I am staying on track. Like it's amazing. Like I feel so irritable when I eat like carby stuff and I'm just like, why do I do this? But like I feel so much better and so much nicer when I'm staying on track.
It's made me a lot more even and like I can handle the stuff that the kids at school do so much, like with a grain of salt, right? A grain of Redmond salt, to be specific. A grain of Redmond salt. I can just
Redmond salt.
Nice. It's fine. Like I can deal with it and not like my stress level doesn't just, kids these days. I don't get like that. BK has a tip for you. BK says, tip for Heidi, don't rush things. Take it step by step.
Thank you. I am taking it step by step. I'm trying to, and just it feels like I'm behind, but I'm still on the road. So I am just take one step at a time, one step forward.
Well, like I said, contact me anytime after this, I'll give you my phone number too. If you want to text me, I'm struggling. I'll be like, have some bacon or whatever. I'll be like, I got you. Like, seriously, I think that it would help because you don't have anyone, like in the state, but hopefully Kat is close to you. That would be good too, I think.
I seriously appreciate that. Yeah. And I will look up her Meat Fueled Living channel. That would be
Yeah,
awesome.
it's really good. Oh, I'm sorry. She says, when I mentioned that I'm carnivore, Catholic, and Stoic, everybody just runs away. Oh, wah, wah. Yeah, I mean, people don't understand it, understand me either. But they're, they've accepted it, I would say. And so
Yeah.
it's not weird anymore because they just know
That's just
what it is.
yeah.
Right? Like, so it works out. At work, I do have, like, my teacher bestie is keto. And so that does really help because, because she is like a meat-based keto, right? So our lunches often look very similar. Like, she'll have eggs, she'll have a little cheese, although I don't do much cheese anymore. She'll have some salami, stuff like that. And so I'll have, like, today I had eggs, she had eggs. So it's you don't feel weird, and then she's lost like I don't between 60 and 70 pounds. And so everybody sees, it's like no one can really knock it when they see those kind of results, on somebody. It's like, what are they gonna say? Like, congratulations on your weight loss and your
I forgot, Christy. Did you I feel like you like weight was not one of the things that motivated you to do this. I can't remember.
Yeah. So I'm actually, if I had to say a struggle, it would be the weight part of it. So what happened with me is I was I was in that horrible yo-yo diet cycle, and I was very extremely restrictive, very disordered eating, very low calorie till I just couldn't take it anymore. Then I would eat all the Oreos, right? All the chips, all the ice cream, and put on the weight again. But it was always like about 20 pounds.
Okay.
Because I never, like, I had that number on the scale that I just wouldn't let myself ever get over.
Right.
And so I would go back to starving myself again
Restrictive,
to, like, lose the weight, which means my metabolism was shot. My hormones I didn't know hormones had anything to do with it, right? I didn't know. I thought less calories equals weight loss equals better equals winning, right?
Right.
And so that's what I would do. And I did that from like age 15 to age 47. So at 47, I'm 48 now, but I was 47, in February of last year. And I went keto, not even really knowing what keto was, to try to lose that 20 pounds. Like, the 20 pounds had come back again for like the umpteenth time. And I was like, I'm going to lose this weight. But I very quickly, same as you, got plugged into Dr. Barry. Not with carnivore, but because I was looking for keto, right? So I found this keto playlist, and I didn't like, it wasn't like I went to his keto playlist and I just played down that playlist. Well, you could watch that thing for months. There's like 100 something videos just in there. So I wasn't really looking at his other content, even though he was making, carnivore content. I had not heard about carnivore. So I just was watching that. So I knew, like, okay, meat, that's where I learned, like, meat-based, mostly meat, and then like a little veggies, like no more than 20 carbs, all that stuff. And I did lose the 20 pounds, but that was the only benefit that I had. I lost the 20 pounds, which I thought, hey, this is great. This is what I wanted. Like, I'm looking good. Everything's, I have, I'm doing really great. And then as I kind of accidentally went carnivore, like I said, just out of laziness, and I just didn't cook the vegetables anymore. It was like, now that I'm eating meat, oh my gosh, like, my social anxiety is going away. My aches and pains in my hands and my knee are going away. My energy levels are up. My sleep is better, all these things. And I was like, what the heck is happening right now? And then I had all this energy. I started sprinting, because I was like, what do I do with this energy? And then I saw Dr. Sean O'Mara. So I started sprinting, but, since about October, so when I turned 48, because my birthday is in October, since about October, my weight has just kind of gradually. So what are we now? March. The 20 pounds came back on.
Interesting.
But I stopped tracking. I definitely know I was eating more volume of food. Just trying to eat to satiety. So it's like, I don't really know. Like, I still feel great, right?
Yeah.
But I don't really know if I'm legitimately eating too much, because you hear, like, recently I've been watching these videos, like, women can never, most women, it's like these coaches, and they're like, no woman I know, can eat more than whatever, like half a pound or 3. I'm like, I put down 1.25 pounds of ribeye. I don't know what you're talking about. So I'm like, is that, and if I do that, I'll eat that and maybe a couple eggs in the morning, and then a ribeye that's like 1 pound to 1.25 pounds. And then that's what I would eat for the day. But I'm thinking, well, maybe that is too much. I don't know. But I kind of just decided for right now that I'm not going to go back to restricting. I'm not cheating. I'm eating carnivore, and my body will hopefully sort itself out. Like, I'm not eating 5 pounds of meat a day. I'm eating 1 pound to 1.25 pounds of meat, and maybe some, and then usually like some eggs and some butter if I feel like I need the fat.
And who's to say what your actual ideal body weight is supposed to be? Because like those charts are just a bunch of BS, basically.
Right.
And like, it's possible that you need at this time in your life, like a little bit of extra fat for healing something.
Right. I'm also 48, so I know I'm on the verge of that menopause age. I had a partial hysterectomy, so I don't have that monthly reminder. Talking about TMI, sorry, but I don't have that monthly reminder to tell me, so I really don't know.
Every time you get it, it's like, why? I know I'm almost that age. Just be done.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that part is nice not to have it, but it's also kind of a signal that tells you like how your hormones are doing. So I have no clue. Some people have suggested maybe the weight came back on because you're heading towards menopause, and like, that can be a symptom of that. Because I'm like, I don't have any hot flashes. Well, somebody said to me, like, maybe your weight gain right now is your symptom. And I'm like, yeah, maybe it is. I need to get my hormones checked, maybe. So Lynn Tucker is saying all the things Christy mentions for great improvements. Journal your daily improvements to remind yourself of your progress. I think that's a great tip.
Yeah, that's
so thank you. I appreciate that. So at first it stressed me out, right? At first it stressed me out because those old habits die hard. And then it's like, I'm not like overweight, I'm heavier than I would want to be, but I'm not overweight.
Yeah.
And so maybe my body, I'm very sure to, that my metabolism had healing to do, that my hormones had healing to do. My thyroid, I think, has some healing to do. And I know that takes time. So I know my thyroid numbers were a little wonky, but my doctor didn't care about that. She only cared about my LDL. So I didn't get any help in the thyroid department. So I figure I'm just gonna do what I'm doing and, eat carnivore food, feeling great. And if the weight continues to climb, maybe I'll address it. It's sort of steadied out. It's sort of stable now. Yeah. Like the last month, I haven't really put on any more. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm not stressing about it the way that I was when I first, like for the first October, November, I didn't really notice, right? Then in December, January, I'm like, what the heck, And then I'm like, oh my gosh, my weight is like, it's going up, but it's not really going back down. This isn't just like a fluctuation. It's definitely was like on an upward, trajectory. So that's the one thing that I'm not as enthused about as I would like to be. Because I know last summer, like it was the first time I felt good in a bathing suit,
Nice.
I don't want to go in my bathing suit like right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Then again, I've never wanted to be in a bathing suit. So.
Right. So, I mean, we're going to Las Vegas this summer and we'll see. We'll see. I might not do it. We'll see.
You should. I mean, just do you.
Yeah.
I mean, you're already doing everything you can to be your best self. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
This is a great tip. And in my mind, Ribeye Ranger, I keep meaning to do this. It's been spring all week here. Like spring has sprung. Now it's going to rain all weekend. But I was going to go for a walk this weekend and now it's going to rain. But Ribeye Ranger says, get outside and bask in the sunshine whenever it comes out there. It's spring. Colorado is beautiful. Start walking up and down your own block or maybe at a local park.
Yeah, no, that's great. Actually, this way my sister's here. She came over. We're going to take a walk.
So, that's fantastic. Yeah. That's fantastic. I should go this evening.
Great tip.
It's still light out there. I might go
a little bit light. I'm hoping we still get some sunshine.
Yeah. So thank you for this. The hardest thing is the mentality switch to stop counting calories and wait for the results to come, even if you feel like you're not progressing. Hence the non-scale
Yes.
victory chats. Yes. I'm trying to remember, like, my skin is better, my sleep is better, my mood is like all the things,
Yeah.
right, that we've already talked about. It's like all those things are still
the
better.
best ones. Yeah.
So I put on a little weight. It's not,
Yeah.
the end of the world. I'm sure my body will sort itself out. I know that there's other women who, after going carnivore, have put on weight. Like, I know I'm not the only one. The hard part is it because you don't really know why, right? Like, your body it talks to you, but like not that clearly, right? Am I eating too much, or is my body healing? Like, if I knew for 100% fact, okay, my body is healing, this is what it needs right now, and in the end it will be fine. Like, if I knew that, it would be so much easier. But there's still that little like thing in there that says maybe you're just overeating. You know what I mean? That's what makes it.
Well, I think you'll figure it out eventually.
Yeah.
But you'll figure it out.
Well, I would like to thank everyone for tuning in. I'm going to let Heidi and her sister go take their walk, because that is very important that you go and do that. I think I might take a walk too. I think we're an hour earlier than you. It's
you probably are.
It's only 6 here. Is it 7 where you are?
Yeah.
So I have a little more light than you do, but you guys have a nice walk.
Thank you.
Thank you to everyone for tuning in.
Thank you for having me on, Christy. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I hope you can come back maybe on Lioness Lifestyle. That would be fun to have you.
That sounds super
fun. Absolutely. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thanks, Christy. Bye, everyone.